Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're doing well this week. I have a little surprise for you this time. Surprise is our daughter Ren Elise McDaniel finally arrived with us on May 19th at 3:03 a.m. weighing in at 6 pounds 6 ounces and 18.5 inches long. We are super excited to have her with us. She's 1 week old today, and we are just so thrilled for her to get to grow up around these awesome animals and share this adventure with us of breeding snakes. If you know anything about us, we're definitely animal people all the way around. We also have 3 dogs who absolutely adore her. We just love her so much, and we've just been soaking up all the time that we can spend with her, so that's why there hasn't been an updated video as frequently as they normally do them, but within good reason, right? Because sometimes we need to stop and take care of little babies. But she is just so adorable. We absolutely love her, and we are so glad to have her with us finally. Had a lot of things going on, but I'm here for an update. I got an update for you guys on what's going on, how this mama snake is doing, how her eggs are doing in the incubator, and what's going on with our albino girl who we think is definitely gravid. As you can see, Priya is still pretty slender, but she's definitely eating again, so that's a really good sign. She ate for the first time last Sunday, so we're definitely hoping that she eats again. We've started her back on small rats once a week, so we're definitely hopeful that she will keep eating for us and gain her weight back, because as you've seen her many times before on our Instagram and in previous videos, she naturally is usually a much bigger snake, a much bigger female. So we just really want to get her back to that body condition and make sure that she still keeps eating like she's supposed to for her health. There's the eggs in there. These are Priya's eggs. Remember, we had 13. We've got about 26 days left. They're looking good. So we're definitely excited for these to hatch. It should be around June 22nd, I believe. That's what we're shooting for, the 55-day mark. So we're just going to observe, like I said before, and when the first egg pips, then we're going to actually go and cut the rest and see what we get. A little update on Rosalie. I know I haven't talked about her or any corn snake stuff in a while. We're still waiting on Dane to get better. He's still got 2 more antibiotic shots out of the 10 that we were given at the vet to give him at home every 72 hours. So once he does actually get better from his respiratory infection completely, and he has a little bit more time to quarantine to make sure that it's definitely out of his system and he's good to go, we can pair him with Rosalie here and get started on our corn snake project. Here's Celian, the male Superfly, male 100% het clown that we have been pairing with Sahara for a month. He'll be the father of the next clutch that comes around. He's still off of food. This is very normal for a lot of male ball pythons to do during the breeding season. You just want to make sure that eventually they do start eating again and don't lose too much weight. And here is Miss Zahara. She's got a little bit of discoloration on her right here from the cocoa husk, the color of the red cocoa husk. She's been soaking in her bowl. She's very huge. We definitely think that this girl has to be gravid. We're just waiting to see if there's going to be a prelay shed or not. Sometimes people say that their females don't do a prelay shed, but it's rare. So we are waiting on a prelay shed, but even if she doesn't do that, we're still very hopeful that there are some eggs in here and hopefully some clowns that prove out, since she and Celian are 100% het clown. And we're going to do an update on Nala here. She's been bowl wrapping a lot. She's getting to that 800 gram mark. We're actually going to take her out and I'm going to weigh her. She's not in a good mood. Alright. 806 grams. That's fantastic. She's getting there. She will be to between 1250 and 1500 in no time. And we're going to get a quick weight on Lucian here. $5.24, that's really good.
Even if you're not planning on breeding and you just want a ball python for a pet, it's still important to weigh them every now and then, at least once or twice a month, so that you can make sure that their weight is where it needs to be, because you don't want them to be losing too much weight in the event that they do go on a food strike and don't eat for you for a while.
I'm going to get Harley out for you right quick because I'm going to show you her progress and how big she's gotten. She's a little over 2 years old. She turned 2 in April. All of our other boa constrictors are not far behind, so they're definitely all getting to a really good size, and we're super excited about that because within the next couple of years is when we want to be able to start pairing the boas and breeding them. Here she is. I think she looks really, really good. She's definitely a lot thicker in her body, and she's getting longer. Definitely noticed that her food response behavior is increasing. That happens a lot of times with boa constrictors and reticulated pythons, because they just get hungrier and hungrier and hungrier because they grow up and they turn into these really large constrictors, and that's something you need to account for if you're ever interested in having one of these guys as a pet. They're great, but you have to remember that they do get very large, especially female boa constrictors and reticulated pythons, because a lot of snakes are sexually dimorphic that way. If you want to have one of these guys, when they become an adult, you need an adult in the room, because you need to make sure that if you have an accident and you get squeezed too tightly somewhere, or you get wrapped, you get a food response by accident and you need to get the snake off, you need to have somebody to help you, because these guys are going to get to a size where it'll be very difficult for even a full-grown adult man to be able to get one of these off of him if it struck in the wrong place or wrapped in the wrong place. Right now she's still small, so I do let her hang out around my neck. However, when she does become fully grown, that will not be the case. That's just something to keep in mind if you are interested in one of these as a pet. Eden is looking fantastic. She is our dwarf purple albino reticulated python from Reach Out Reptiles. She is just over a year old. She's looking fantastic. Her colors are amazing, and she's getting a lot longer, and she's getting a lot thicker in her body, as you can see. We are so excited for this girl to get huge. She's going to get up to about 12 feet. She can top out at 12 feet. With reticulated pythons, even if you get a dwarf or a super dwarf, females tend to be on the bigger side because reticulated pythons are sexually dimorphic snakes. So if you're wanting a reticulated python that stays at a reasonable size, you might want to go with like a super dwarf male, or a male that has some super dwarf percentage in it. That could be another option if you still want an impressive size, but you want to have a little bit of the super dwarf in there. You can definitely go over to Reach Out Reptiles website. You can talk to Garrett Hartle. He's amazing. He will point you in the right direction when it comes to picking out your snake, when it comes to size, the color that you're looking for, the morph. And he really helped us pick out R2. I'm sure you've seen Ripley before on our Instagram. We post him quite a lot. He is our super dwarf and Motley tiger male. We are very excited to see him grow up as well. He can top out between 7 and 9 feet. So, even though he's still a super dwarf, he still can get to a pretty impressive size. So, if you're going with one of these guys, just keep that in mind. They do get on the bigger side. I realized I hadn't done an update for you guys on Diglett in a while. She's our albino Kenyan sand boa. She's a few months old. She definitely has a ways to go, but when she does get fully grown, we do plan on breeding Kenyan sand boas. We just don't have a male for her yet, but what we have in mind is an Anery male that is het albino. There's some really cool combos in there, and it kind of just start out a little bit with some Kenyan sand boa litters. We think that would be fun. And Kenyan sand boas, they are a very fantastic beginner snake. If you're looking for a snake that's super easy to take care of and something that doesn't get too big and is easy to handle, these guys make really great pets. And as you can see, we've got Diglett started in this little 10-gallon right here, and she can still live in here for quite a while. She just had a shed. It looks like a really nice shed. We do use this sand in here for her. I know a lot of people advise against sand, even though they're called Kenyan sand boas.
And that's just because they would rather a lot of the times use aspen because they worry about impaction when it comes to feeding your Kenyan Sambo in their enclosure when they're on sand. But what we do is we kept the container that she actually came in at the reptile show we bought her at, and we put her Pinky Mouse inside of the container, leave it open, place her down inside the container, and she eats her Pinky Mouse and climbs out herself. So we are still feeding her in her enclosure. We're just feeding her in a plastic container so that she does not take in any of the sand when she's swallowing her Pinky Mouse. So there are ways to use sand if you want to for aesthetic reasons or enrichment, because I personally believe that Kenyan Samboas really like to be in sand. So if that's something that you want to do, you really want to use sand, there are safe ways to do it. You just have to be careful.
As always, you guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you haven't already, please follow us on Instagram. Our name is @magic_city_morphs. We're very excited for this upcoming year to have some babies for you guys. And tell me in the comments below, how is your breeding season going? What are your upcoming projects? We would love to know that. We love talking with other breeders on what their future plans are and what genes they're looking to work with next. See you guys next time.